I'm Zoe Delahunty-Light, and I am a sucker for alternate history fantasy, especially when untrustworthy fae are involved, so I was beaming when I was invited to preview Nightingale. Nightingale is an open-world survival PvE crafting game where you, a realm walker, are cast adrift in the fae realms, divorced from the human world and forced to find a way to survive. I spent 12 hours with Nightingale before the press servers were switched off, and this is what you need to know about it / I need to tell you about because this unique gaslamp fantasy setting is magic. Starting with the character creator, Nightingale has its own distinct facial style reminiscent of Arcane's bold character design. As it's in early development, the options for deeper skin customization like tattoos and scars weren't yet available, but there was the usual skin tone, hair colour and eye colour options. By far, my favourite thing to see in Nightingale's character creator is the eyelash extensions. Not just eyeliner, blush, eyeshadow, lipstick and lip gloss, but also eyelash extensions, which, in a survival game, is a first for me. Now, I'm not one for these thicker eyelash extensions, but I love that they included them as an option all the same. Closely followed in second place as my favourite feature in Nightingale's character creator is that you can build a family tree by assigning your character their parents, grandparents and great-grandparents in whichever gender combination you want. You can't customise the older generation's faces to the same extent as your own character, however, there's an alternate feature that gives their existence purpose, aside from the conception of your character, of course. Using this sliding scale, you can morph your face to resemble your ancestors, whether that's your grandparents or parents. With this comes the beginnings of your role-playing journey in Nightingale. Develop and explore your relatives and start to build the backstory of your own realm walker, and also, I'll take any excuse to stick around in the character creator for longer. At this point, I don't know how or if this will come into play later, but irregardless, it's a stellar role-playing tool that I hope the developers build upon. One of the last steps in the character creator is choosing your background. Academic, socialite, ne'er-do-well, for example, which explains your character but doesn't appear to add any buffs or effects at the moment, which is a disappointment. Nightingale is in early access though, so just watch this space. Finally, you're gonna be disappointed if you like video game fashion, so just know that your character's outfit is tied to how hard or easy you want your Nightingale experience to be. Underwear is for super hard starts, as you start off with absolutely nothing because you're in your underwear, a prepper explorer getup for an easier go, and in fancy clothes for a difficult beginning. It pained me to not be able to choose the latter option. I chose a hard world as I'm familiar with survival games, but an easy outfit, so I had a rough amount of protection, but I still think about that green dress. I miss her. Destiny style, in Nightingale you have a power level. Better equipment equals higher power level equals less squishy when running into aggressive fauna, or whatever you'd call this. It will take you a good long while to get to the point where you can craft the fancy clothes shown off in Nightingale's trailers, which was a little bit unexpected, but I'll allow it. Your respite realm is where you'll build your estate, safe from, at the moment, fae threats and the Bound, these horrible monsters that will come for you anytime you open a portal, with the choice of either a swamp, desert or forest biome. I chose forest because I want to live in Mirkwood with the spiders, and my god, the respite realm is stunning. Not only are there plenty of options for where to build your estate, near water, or on the shore, or in the middle of a clearing, wherever you want really, but the set dressing skills of the fae are to be admired. Cages, fountains, statues, huge wheels. There are strange objects dotted around the realms, respite or not, adding a touch of nefarious whimsy to the surroundings. Better not ask how all those objects got there. Those beautified surroundings accompanied me when I realised that the Fae portal wasn't marked on my map, which I needed to find in order to progress to a normal, dangerous realm to do some quests and stuff. Even after I spent way too long exploring my island until I found it, it wasn't marked on my map afterwards, which was a pain in the proverbial. Considering you used the portal to get to the proper realms, this was a ball ache and a half, but something easily fixed in a future update. I'll sandwich that gripe with the mention of the moments of magic smattered through my building endeavours. This spectral being occasionally appeared, knocking down any trees in their path as I looked on with awe, and relief that it wasn't corporeal and also heading for me. Within your respite realm, you obviously build your own estate, but then there's a secondary activity to amuse yourself with, stuff like fishing, which I didn't do a ton of, but it appeared to have its own minigame of sorts where you thrash around with a distinct type of fish. While there are hazards to respite life like boars, weather is your main issue. Hail damages you if you're caught in it, and even when hiding under your umbrella, it'll degrade the umbrella quickly. Then there's rain, which makes you wet. Standing in swamp water for too long plagues you with disease. Being out at night has you afflicted with cold, and finally, standing in the blazing sun in a desert biome subjects you to heat damage. All of this means you have to build yourself an estate in your respite realm fairly quickly, otherwise you're going to have a super bad time. But I did enjoy that I had to kind of change my activities to match whatever the hell the weather was doing. Although hail, did not expect it to hurt that much, no idea what's in it, but I'd assume rocks, which, it's Fey realm, so fair enough. Survival in Nightingale is about more than living through the weather. You've got to fight your way through different obelisks and trials infested with the bound. Unfortunately, Nightingale's combat leaves a lot to be desired. The AI is easily outsmarted and fighting is a chore. However, the caveat to that is that I was at a low level during the preview and hadn't unlocked guns or spells at this point, or more advanced enemies. So the combat simplicity is kind of to be expected. Other obelisks are around too, some agility themed with jumping puzzles or memory games. They're fine. I wish the memory games were a bit harder, but, at higher levels maybe they will be. I'm not entirely sure. Wandering followers can be found in the realms, and upon doing them a favour, like building them a house or building some makeshift beds, you are allowed to recruit them, providing you with a donkey to carry extra resources, a fighter to accompany you into dangerous situations and distract enemies while you flee, and a person who will single-handedly contribute to the deforestation of the Fey realms, because, Jesus Christ, they come with an axe and the AI just goes ham on whatever trees are nearby. I wish you could give them specific commands to direct this further, like Kelvin from Sons of the Forest. Judging by some notes from the developers, this is intended to be in a future update, and it cannot come soon enough. Not the least because when I'm exploring at night, hearing a tree fall actually makes me jump out of my skin. With my trusty-ish colleague Ian Higton, I jumped forward to experience higher level Nightingale in a press preview. You can watch our Let's Play on the channel right now if you want to see it firsthand. We got temporary access to new weapons, clothes, buildings, furniture, locations, and enemies, and at that point Nightingale was nightingaling. The start is slow, yes, but most survival games are, and this is what you're aiming for. I had the best time exploring these larger, more dangerous biomes with my guns and incredible dress and hat, taking on beastly enemies like harpies and even the apex horror Humbaba itself. I loved every second of it, and seeing where Nightingale is heading gave me way more patience for the lower levels I was working through outside of the press preview. I mean, look at this. This is what I aspire to in Nightingale, and in real life. Those are my preview impressions of Nightingale, and even though I have some gripes, I'm still excited for it to come out in early access. As time goes on and the developers release updates and hopefully provide me with code, I'll be coming out with a fuller review, tips, and other kinds of videos that elude me at the moment. So, if that sounds like something you'd want to watch, feel free to subscribe to Eurogamer and also drop a like on this video, as that gives me an indication of whether Nightingale content is desired. For those of you who are planning to play Nightingale, what are you looking forward to most? I will admit the monster design is my absolute favourite thing. These harpies, I'm a fan of them. It actually hurts me that I have to attack them. Anyway, is there anything you're apprehensive about, or from the looks of this preview, anything that you're surprised about? Do let me know in the comments below because I want to chat with you. Thanks so much for choosing to spend your time with me, Zoe Delahunty-Light, and now I am going to go and stare at that green dress because I mourn its absence in my life. So I'll see you folks next time.